First things first, you're going to need your peppers. And you can see here these are all marked, because if you've watched a previous video of mine, you'll see that I try and isolate my peppers that I get my seeds from. And that's just so that I ensure that when I grow these out again, I get the same thing. So, for example, specifically when I grow the peri-peri plants, I want to make sure that I get peri-peri. I don't get a cross between a peri-peri chili and something else. So the others maybe aren't too fussed, getting some crossbreeding. Saving the seeds is the same process no matter whether it's an isolated pepper or not. What you're going to do is take the peppers. You can see I have 4 peppers I'm going to do today. This is the 7-pot habanero. This here is the Naga Brain chocolate. That there is a peri-peri, bird's eye. And that one there is a Carolina Reaper. Now, I'm not entirely happy with this one here. I mean, it's ripe, so the seeds will probably be okay. But it's not the best example of the habaneros and the Naga Brains. I mean, here you can see that's a much nicer one. So what I might do, I might just use one of these as well, even though I haven't isolated. I might use one of these better specimens as well and save the seeds from it. Just so I make sure that I label this one as being isolated, this one as being not isolated. I have some containers. So these are just old takeout containers, and that's just to keep them inside so the seeds don't go wandering. And the most important thing you need to do is label them. So I'm going to get a piece of paper and write down what each of these peppers are. So we have our pieces of paper. Let's just label them. So first we'll do the Naga Brain chocolate that I didn't isolate. Straightforward. What you're going to need to do is cut it in half. Now, I would recommend gloves. I'm being very careful here, but please wear gloves. These things can hurt. There you go. There's not a lot of seeds in this one, but that's pretty much all you do. I tend to keep it in the skin. Just open it up like this. I don't take the seeds out, so I'm just going to have it just like that. I'm going to take that and put that inside this pot. And move on to the next one. Let's do the Naga Brain isolated. There's a couple seeds in there, and those should be fine actually. I'm going to open this up a bit more. What you're trying to do is you're trying to let air get inside so that these can dry out. Got to be careful you don't damage the actual seeds themselves. And that's why I only use 1 pepper for the peri-peri, because there are just so many seeds in here. And put that in there. The 7-pot habanero. So these are the seeds that we are going to be isolating today. Make sure they face upwards. You want it to give it the best chance possible to air out and dry. So you have a couple options for drying out your pods or your seeds. The way I do it, I use the linen cupboard, basically where the boiler is in my house. So this is my linen cupboard, or my boiler cupboard where we have the boiler. And what I've been doing, just to make sure that I have the correct temperatures, you can see I have a min-max thermometer. And here you can see that it doesn't go above 31 degrees Celsius in here. So I've had it in here for quite a while, and the boiler has been on because the heating has been on, and so has the water been heating up as well. So you want to make sure that you don't have the temperature go too high. If your boiler or the little cupboard where your boiler is, if it gets too hot, that could be a bit damaging for the peppers themselves. So I would recommend just checking what the temperature is in there. You don't need a min-max. You could just get any old thermometer and stick it in there. Just when the boiler's been on for about half an hour or so, then you'll be able to check what temperature it gets up to. The maximum temperature I would suggest is probably around 40 degrees. But in here you can see I've got the peppers all in their boxes, letting them dry. Just make sure they're all facing up. And the other thing to take note here, the reason you actually put it in a linen cupboard is because you want to make sure that the humidity stays quite low. The humidity is what's going to pull the moisture out of the seeds and out of these pods and allow me to have nice dry seeds. So we'll come back to this in a couple of days and we should have our nice dry pods and dry seeds. So this is about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks later. And you can see they're drying up nicely. So I'm happy with that. We'll come back to it again in about another week or two, and the seed should be ready to harvest. So I think these should be about ready now. They look pretty dry and they feel pretty dry to the touch. So time to do the next step. So first thing we're going to do is put on some gloves, because the last thing you want is some of these chili oils going anywhere near your eyes or your face, because these are really hot chilies. So first ones we'll do here, we'll do the Naga Brain chocolates, these ones over here. So you can see there the pepper itself is very dry, not a lot of seeds in this one. So we'll break that open and you can see the seeds in there, lovely and healthy looking. So this one here, you know, the chili will never fully dry out because of the oils in it. So we're going to take those seeds out and put them into a container. So you don't have to do this. I've done it this year because these things were just so cheap. I'll put a link in the description. But you can use little Ziploc bags. You can use those or little envelopes. But you want this really to be airtight. So these things here, perfect little container for your seeds. What we're going to do here is just carefully take out the seeds. You don't want to damage them. You can use tweezers if you like. However, I wouldn't really suggest it, because tweezers will, you could very easily damage the seeds. So this here, just a much easier method. Use your fingers. My sister got me this for Christmas. I haven't used it yet. Probably works a bit better with fresh chilies. I'm not going to use it today because there's no real need. You'll see how easy this is doing it this way. But that's another option, I guess. So we'll just get all these seeds out. There's only a few in this. There's a few more in the other one though. There we go. There's about 8 or 9 seeds in there. That'll be enough for me to grow this on. You should expect a few more seeds than that normally, but that was a very small pepper. So you can see there's the seeds. So that's that one done. We'll do the same for the rest. Just remember to be careful with these little leftovers. They are still very, very hot. You could use them if you want to cook with them. There's no problem at all. I might not. Okay, so this is my 7-pot habanero that I isolated as well. So we get another one of these little containers. You can see there's plenty more seeds in this. This is a good way just to get free seeds, so you don't have to keep buying new packets of seeds every year. I know that's part of the fun of growing peppers, but it can get quite expensive. And especially if you've got a plant that was especially healthy or especially tasty, it's always good to get the seeds so you can grow it again next year. Wow, these smell strong. I think what I might do next year is do a seed giveaway. I'll think about it and see what we do. So I think that one's done. We'll do the labels in a second. My peri peri. Lots of seeds in there. It's quite a nice easy one. You'll see the peri peri obviously not being as hot as the other peppers. There's not as much oil in there, so these actually do break up quite nicely. You see all the seeds just falling out of there. But the more hot ones, the first two that I've done there are pretty hot, and yeah, you're really going to have a bit of a different experience there. And these here, you can see the seeds pretty much just fall out. You can see there, those are looking good. Don't really want to put pieces of the chili in there. And the last one here is the Naga Brain chocolate. Another really oily one. You can see there it is dry. It's not really going to get much drier than that, but it's because of the oils, it still has quite a bit of flexibility there. It's just a bit more of a challenge getting the seeds out. Not as easy as with some of the less oily ones. If you are thinking of doing this, not necessarily commercially, but if you are wanting to package up a whole load of seeds and you're either selling them or giving them away or something, I would suggest sticking to doing one at a time, one type at a time. You can see obviously I've done 4 here. I'm trying to be careful about what I'm actually putting in, but I think if you are going to be doing it for sale or something like that, just make 100% sure you're definitely packaging up the seeds correctly. There's too many chances of things going wrong. It gives it a nice seal. And what I actually do with these, I keep these in the fridge. So you just got to think about how nature deals with seeds. You know, in the winter, the ground freezes over, so you know, so do the seeds. They get dropped during the summer and the spring and the autumn. So any seeds that do end up on the ground in nature could potentially get frozen. So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily keep these in the freezer, but keep in the fridge, no problem at all. I have a little container in the fridge that I keep all my seeds in, and that makes them last quite a bit longer. So that's that one there. And now all we do is we put a label on these. There we go. And that's it. Now it's just time to put them in the fridge, and they're ready for me to grow on next year.